Hello everybody, welcome back to the Motown Max channel. I'm your host as always, the Max Canadian, and today we're going to be discussing the Grand Rapids Griffins. Yes, for those of you who don't know, which you all should know at this point because you all follow me for one specific reason, and that is the Grand Rapids Griffins are the Detroit Red Wings' current AHL affiliate, which is basically their minor leagues, right? It's their development program. Well, their development team, but they are also their own team. It's not hard to describe, but I don't want to describe it right now. But the last few weeks, they have been signing some guys to some contracts, and I'm starting to get a feeling that they are really pushing for next season with how poorly this one has ended. And, we all seen my video last time. My dumbass still believes, for some reason, nobody wants your Kentucky Fried bullshit. But there is still a chance they make the playoffs, obviously. But I'm trying to clear all my ads from Elite Prospects. But yes, there are a lot of signings going on, and in my opinion, it looks like the Griffins and the organization as a whole is gearing up for something big. And it's obvious something big needs to happen after this season. Whether or not they stumble their way into the playoffs, something big needs to happen this season. And like I said, this kind of hints to me like they're looking to do some big stuff, whether it's trading guys for immediate talented help, or they're getting ready to graduate a bunch of guys, which I believe is the most likely. I know a lot of people don't want to hear it, but it does seem like the most likely outcome here is that they're just getting ready to graduate a bunch of guys, because you've got guys like Amadeus Lombardi, Carter Mazur, and Sebastian Cossa. They all need they'd all have to clear waivers next season. And I think that Lombardi and Mazur probably would. Cossa would not. But the backup position next season is Kossa's to lose. So that's it. If he doesn't get the backup position next season, then there's going to need to be some serious conversations. But regardless, I believe they're getting ready to make some moves. And these signings kind of strengthen my position on that. So we're just going to get into some of the guys that they've signed so far. I do believe that there's going to be some more guys coming in from overseas. Jesse Kiskinen is probably going to be coming over next season. Carter Bear is going to be coming in from the CHL next season. Carter Bear might have a chance to make the NHL roster, to be honest. The kid's killing it. But, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the guys that they've signed. So that was like 3 minutes of fucking nothing. I'm sorry. But we're going to talk about Noah Dower-Nilsson here first. Noah Dower-Nilsson was signed in the third round, was drafted in the third round of the 2023 draft. Obviously, his brother Liam Dower-Nilsson was also a Red Wings draft pick. I do not believe he gets signed. It's possible he does, just so that way the Red Wings can have both brothers in there. But I do not believe he will. And Noah Dower-Nilsson, when he was drafted, it was really exciting for me, and to quite a few guys. When he was drafted originally, he wasn't seen as this 100%. Obviously, he wasn't 100% certain draft pick because he was drafted in the third round. But he has such a high upside that if he hits, he fucking hits. He is such a skilled player that if he was able to, like we all said that Dmitry Pechelnikov was a boomer bust prospect, I think Noah Dower-Nilsson is the same thing. Do I think he would have had the same level of skill or production as Pechelnikov would have if he hit? Probably not. But Dower-Nilsson could have been a solid top 9 guy for the Red Wings if he hit. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to get that super finessey player out of him. But with him signing his ELC a few weeks ago, he's going to be in Grand Rapids next season. So we're going to just take a look at what he's got. He was drafted in 2023, so we're going to start there. So his 22-23 season, it looks good. And for Lunda, he had 54 points, 37 games. It was, J20. So you can't take an insane amount of stock from that. But if you look through the rest of that season when he played in the U18 World Junior Championship, he had 6 points in 7 games for the for all of U18 in Sweden. He had 13 points in 19 games, so pretty solid in international competition. But once you got out of that, the next few seasons haven't been very kind. I believe he got injured in this season. But after that, 10 points in 35 games, 1 point in 2 games for Sweden's U20, and 16 points in 48 games with Frölunda in the SHL. Now, it's important to note that the SHL is a largely men's league. You know, that's where Marco Kasper, Eddie Genberg, all those guys, they've come from. And if you look at their production, they aren't insane, right? They're like 20, 30 points. And that's just because, which is really good for somebody of their age. Like even Raymond didn't, like his numbers weren't insane in the SHL as an 18-year-old. But it's important to note that there are very few teenagers that go into the SHL in general, and even fewer dominate, right? So it's important to note that. So in 16 points in 48 games for a third-round pick, yeah, the counting stats aren't there, but, I don't know how much more you could expect from him. And in the playoffs, 4 points in 6 games, not bad. So there is still some hope with him, but he is obviously being brought in, at least in my opinion, to recoup the loss of someone like Amadeus Lombardi, who, like I said in the beginning of the video, needs to clear waivers next season to be sent to Grand Rapids. So he probably could clear just because he's been in the AHL his entire time. But with his AHL numbers, I'm almost certain a team would probably take not almost certain. There's a good chance that another team would take their chance on Amadeus Lombardi. Next we have Justice Christensen. Christensen? I don't know. I'm going to call him Justice Christensen because it's a cooler name. But Justice Christensen from the WHL, if you don't know who this guy is, then I don't blame you. He's not really on many radars. But he's a 5'9" defenseman out of the WHL. He was invited to the Red Wings training camp before this season, and he was a bit of a standout. He performed actually really well, and I believe that if he wasn't in the CHL, he would have gotten an AHL contract from the Griffins or from anybody, really, right after training camp. But unfortunately, with the NHL, CHL, AHL agreement, whatever the hell it is, players from the CHL cannot go into the AHL. I think there's very specific circumstances that allow you to do it. Like you can protest it or something or file for an exemption. Like I think that's what Seattle did with Shane Wright last year. But yeah, it's I believe he probably would have gotten a contract right out of camp. Probably not with the main club, but with the Griffins, yeah. So that's what happened. It happened today, actually. It happened earlier this morning, which is one of the reasons why I'm making this video. But, he's an undersized defenseman that provides a good amount of offense. He was supposed to go to the University of Nebraska-Omaha this season. Obviously, that's probably not going to happen, seeing as he's with the Griffins, unless the Griffins plan on just loaning him to Nebraska, which I don't know if you can with the NCAA. I actually don't know how that works. Because I know you can loan players from the NHL to the SHL and other leagues and stuff like that, but I don't know if an AHL team can loan a player to the NCAA, right? Because they can, they can bring guys up and down from the ECHL to the AHL, but I don't know about the NCAA. That's an interesting thing to look into. But the odds are he's not playing in the NCAA this year. He's going to be playing with Grand Rapids, and his numbers are really good in the WHL. Obviously, he was undrafted, but since the 22-23 season, 9 points in 64 games, not great. 64 penalty minutes, that's insane for a 5'9" guy. But it gets even more insane. 45 points in 68 games with 84 penalty minutes. 46 points in 68 games with 62 penalty minutes, and 48 points in 63 games with 84 penalty minutes. So he's right above half a point per game. He's actually quite a bit over half a point per game the last 3 seasons in the WHL, which is fine. I imagine he'd go into the AHL and he'll probably perform at about a half a point per game, maybe, give or take a bit. but he does seem like he's got potential. I remember a few seasons ago when the Red Wings signed Alexander Noset and Jacob Raklovsky to deals in the AHL, and those haven't seemed to work out very well. I know that there are some who watch Grand Rapids watch Grand Rapids far more than I can, who have more of they have more faith that Raklovsky could be something than Doset. Doset, I think, is with Toledo now. But they were both top of their leagues in their respective leagues. So when they were signed, so who knows? Maybe Justice can be something like that, but actually pan out. Who knows? But this shows to me that they're prepared for a guy like Gustafsson to leave. That seems pretty obvious to me that they're not expecting Erik Gustafsson back, and I wouldn't expect them to either. Just because it's been no secret Gustafsson doesn't belong in the AHL. A lot of people like to look at his time with the Red Wings and then think that he's just overall sucks. He doesn't. If you look at his time in literally everywhere else he's played, he's been fine to great. He's been a really good defenseman, offensive defenseman, I should say, who brings slightly more defense as he should. It just, like many a thing, didn't click in Detroit, and he got sent to Grand Rapids, and everybody who I've talked to that watches Grand Rapids has said that Gustafsson is too good to be in Grand Rapids. So, because he is still an NHL player, and he drives from Grand Rapids to Detroit every chance he gets because his family still lives in Detroit. So, that's not what we're talking about, though. I believe that, but I do believe Christensen was brought in to help replace what Gustafsson brought. And, the addition of Anton Johansson, there's a lot of guys that seem to be coming in that are going to be replacing guys who are no longer in next season. All right, now we're going to talk about Trey Augustine, who signed his ELC about 2 weeks ago. And there's a lot of hope for Trey Augustine in Detroit because he is widely regarded as one of, if not the best goaltending prospect in the league, right? Just hockey wide. And there's really good backing to that. He was drafted in the second round, 41st overall in 2023, so the same draft as Noah Dower-Nilsson, if I'm remembering correctly. And if you look at his numbers, they've just been insane pretty much his entire time playing. 22-23, 14 games with USN TDB Juniors. He had a .928 save percentage in 14 games with the U18 team. 926 save percentage in 33 games. World Juniors, 934 save percentage in 6 games. U20, 891 in 6 games. But I don't think that was a very good team, if I remember correctly. Then he goes to Michigan State, 915 save percentage in 35 games. He was very highly regarded in his time at Michigan State, if you follow college hockey at all. He's been one of the best goaltenders in the NCAA for his entire time there. In the World Juniors, 936 save percentage in 4 games. Team USA in international competition. He played 1 game and didn't allow a single goal. With the World Juniors, with Team USA in the World Championships, he had a 929 save percentage in 4 games, right? And it was insane when he made the USA World Championship roster because he was still a college kid, right? There were a lot of, granted, they didn't have an insane amount of choices because most of the American goaltenders were in the playoffs, but the fact that they didn't dive into, the AHL or, one of the other various American leagues, or they didn't find a starter and then 2 different American backups in the NHL. No, they went with Trey Augustine as the third string. it was actually a big deal at the time, because I can't remember the last time a college kid was picked over a goalie with NHL experience for the World Championships, but he got into 4 games and he looked really good. Then in his second season with Michigan State, which was, I believe, his best season and his most highly regarded, .924 save percentage in 30 games, which got him Hobey Baker consideration. I believe he was nominated, but not a finalist. Then with the U20s again, he went back to the World Junior Championships, .917 save percentage in 5 games played. Then went back to Michigan State for the 25-26 season, .929 save percentage in 34 games played. Obviously, it was clear he wanted to keep going back to win a national championship, but it just never could happen, and it was not his fault. Clearly, he was playing out of his mind the entire time, and it's a shame that his team let him down, essentially. So, but he's going to be in Grand Rapids following this this season on his professional tryout, and then next season he'll probably be in Grand Rapids full time. He'll probably be splitting the net with, my guess is, Postava and him. Gylander might be in there too, but I think it's largely going to be between him and Postava, which the Red Wings goaltending pipeline has never been more flush with talent, right? Like, at first it was just Sebastian Cossa, then Carter Gylander kind of came out of nowhere. Then they drafted Trey Augustine, and then Steve goes out and signs Michael Postava, and now you've got Rudy Guimond in the CHL who's killing it. Like, there's a lot of goaltending prospects here. Like, it's no longer, we went from Sebastian Cossa or nothing to, okay, Sebastian Cossa still needs to hit, but if he doesn't, we have a backup on a backup on a backup, right? Like, we've got far more options than we've ever had, and it takes the weight of worry off of a lot of fans, knowing that, you know, Sebastian Cossa we don't have one goaltender as they need to hit, or else our goaltending is screwed for the future, right? So, but that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think that this is a state of the Red Wings being prepared to graduate a bunch of players, or is this a sign that Steve Yzerman is going to end up moving a lot of players to bring in immediate help? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, sorry for this video being kind of choppy and all over the place. That's just my style at this point, but I still feel the need to apologize for it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Take care.